featuring in a fashion show. One of it is of a guy named Stanley Covington. But he has such talent that he draws fashion, as well as he's an artist and a fashion designer. So when I saw his stuff, and my wife knows him, I said, you know what, you need to be kind of promoted out here in Long Island. So why don't I, do a show for you? All right. He was discovered last year by a guy that was running the Fashion Week in Bryant Park. And when this guy saw him sketching in some isolated place, he immediately asked him, hey, I'm gonna set you up in Bryant Park. And he did a show in Bryant Park Fashion Week for the first time, just being discovered out here. And so I said, man, but what happened was Sandy hit, and the people in Long Island couldn't get out there.
Okay.
So they were complaining. A lot of people who follow him, all the media that follow him out here, they couldn't get there. I said, you know what? Well, let's do something, a fashion week on Long Island. All right, and this is where the impetus came from for me to kind of do that. And so I said, well, I talked with some Post magazine people. I talked to Aces magazine, Amy, the publisher there, and they were very interested. They said, that's a good idea, Jay. JTMac doing these other things, right? And so I said, okay, let's do it. So I began to kind of look around for Long Island designers. So I came up with 2 or 3. So I selected 2. In the meantime, I said, well, I need somebody big, that's going to really bring the entourage. So a friend of mine, I think you know her, Priceless, suggested 2 artists because her daughter is in fashion. She's doing her thing. She's young. She's supposed to be the next Naomi Campbell, so to speak. And so she gave me 2 leads, and one of the leads was a guy that was in Tyra Banks' Stylista show. And he's a finalist. His name is Jason Christopher Peters. And they're doing a reality show with him now. He's doing a lot of stuff on runways. He's kind of out there, the it guy in New York. And so I called him up. I gave him car service out here from 181st Street to the kind of gallery. And took him to breakfast, and he said, okay, he'll do it. And so what I did was, I know a young lady who is a leukemia survivor. So I said, you know what? Why don't I do a benefit around the fashion show and raise funds for leukemia? All right. So I said, that's a good idea. So let's put the fashion, put leukemia, because this woman, she's you probably know her. Give the charity. They want an opportunity to give the charity, and Frank, he wanted an opportunity to hear jazz in his spot. So it's working. So Frank is on board. Jason is on board. And Stanley and another young lady who's doing full figure fashion, she's on board. Her name is Carrie Rice Johnson. So we're going to do this February 15th, Saturday, and we're going to sell some tickets, and we're going to have a cocktail reception, and we're going to go for it, and we're going to have a great time. And I have a jazz quartet that's coming, so we're going to have jazz, spoken word, cocktail reception. So that's what this is all about, trying to really put out the JTMac production brand, and let them know that I'm really in so much support of established, working musicians, the rising star talent that's out here in Long Island, really trying to get them a place where they can perform, where they can really kind of be creative. If you haven't played in a venue and if you only done open mics, then why not come and be a part of a showcase that I'm putting on? All right, so that you can get that experience. But I have a situation now that I'm in where I'm the musical coordinator, consultant, director, where I'm going to be running the show. So now I can just pick up the phone and call people and say, hey, look, when are you available? And put you down. All right, and guess what? I'm gonna pay you. Guess what? And that's my reputation, because people trust me. Because I have no problem, because I respect the talent. I respect the craft. I respect the fact that you got to get up and you got to make your money playing music. Where I'm just reading some things, constantly and experiencing where they go and they play, and then after the end of the night they say, we ain't make no money, man. We can't play you. What? I didn't play for 4-5 hours. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, and you give me $250 and say split it with 6 people, you know. So I mean, you know, that is not right, you know. So every band, every musician that I've worked with, you know, I come differently with them, you know, and they're almost surprised and shocked, but appreciative that I respect the craft. All right, and jazz, they get shafted more than R&B, and then the spoken word artists, they just really get, you know, no respect. But so I got them. You know, my variety is jazz, R&B, blues, spoken word, you know, and then throw in some fashion, you know. And so that's what I wanted to do with JTMac Productions as we move forward. It's been in my head for like 10 years, but it's been in operation for about 5. All right, and once I retired, I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is my passion, so I'm getting ready to do this now and put it in full force. You know, it started in my backyard. I've been doing backyard parties for the last 11 years, and it grew to 250 last year. I had a 9-piece band back there. You know, Ajax and his crew came in from proper and all over, and we just blew it up back there. I mean, I've had magicians, I've had fire eaters, I have different types of band, you know, and we just have a great time. And it's about, you know, me kind of saying, you know what, I work hard, I play hard, and the thing is, I don't see people all the time. So the summer is the only time I can say get a date together where, you know what, I'm gonna see all my friends, all my associates, you know, all the people who was hit and miss, you know, as I, you know, go through the summer and go through the winter, and everybody looks forward to it for the last 11 years. So it's been very successful during that time. So so that evolves. It was like, James, why don't you have them pay to come in your backyard? Because your backyard, when you do your thing, I get more of your back than I do at other clubs I go to. I said, well, I ain't doing that, you know, but because it's about giving back. It's about, you know, just kind of chilling. You know, we have wait service back there. You know, we have the bars. You know, the food is everything is, you know, everybody's chilling. The vibe is crazy. You know, so that's what I enjoy. And I don't have to do anything because everybody's doing it. You know, they got their roles. You know, my son is a waiter. You know, bus boy, clean up, and he bring his boys. So so that it kind of was the impetus as well to kind of take it to the next level, if you will. You know, let me see if I can do this in a club. You know, I went to Love Jones. You know, I did about 5 or 6 things there. I brought Christopher Williams to Love Jones. I did those shows. I did about 4 with just unknowns and filled the place. So I said, wait a minute, this is, I mean, if you know, they say if you love something and you do it passionately, it's not work. So I don't see it as work. I just feel about, you know, this is what I do every day. This is how I go about having a good time. Well, right now, it's kind of tricky because I'm not used to being stagnant in one location, all right? So I'm looking, you know, I was talking to guys, I said, you know, maybe I can get a label deal or something, you know, and start bringing artists, you know, rising star artists and kind of showcasing them. Also working with a producer to kind of put some tracks together, you know, and do some compilations of, you know, cover songs and original songs, you know, so it's kind of up in the air. I have an opportunity to work with this restaurant owner in Queens, whereby I'm going to be doing all the entertainment, bringing everybody in, all the bookings, and what have you, special events and so forth. So that's a good thing and a bad thing for me because I'm doing fashion shows, I'm doing other events in Brooklyn and Queens and Manhattan, and now I'm locked down in one location and just kind of bringing in other acts. So I haven't really, I think it's still up in the air, but I know it's about making sure that artists are made more visible than they are and given opportunities to perform and really practice their craft and do some different things, you know, bringing artists who haven't performed together and putting them together, you know, do an in vogue thing with 5 or 4 of the best female singers I know out there and put them together and do a show, you know, something different, something that is not just a regular, you know, how can I say, revolving type of entertainment, you know. I don't, it's not going to be one band with one singer and that's it. It's going to be, on a Tuesday. It'll be different bands, different singers, rotating throughout a 4-day week. And really trying to continue to enhance the idea of live music. You see, I think that, I don't want live music to die, it's been so impacted by the lack of musical programs in schools. When I was coming up, they had music programs, everybody was playing an instrument, there was a lot of creativity allowed, a lot of flexibility. So it's not as available. All right, so when I see children, kids, young kids, such as the Matthew Whitaker jazz group, all right, this kid is 14 years old, and they have a trio, and he's 14, one is 17, and one is 16. All right, they have this nice trio, and they travel internationally. So they did a show for me, and man, they were awesome, And so I've discovered that there are other types of talent pools out there where kids are performing and doing in-house stuff. But they need to be exposed to the kind of real world, kind of get out there and be exposed to not only just their parents and the parents of their peers, but to people who don't know them. We're not going to applaud even though they're not good. You know what I'm saying? They need to experience the realness of what the business is like if they're going to really adopt that craft and be out there. So when they were at Zakana, wow, not only did they impress everyone there, but someone come up to me and say, James, you know what? Why don't you try to use us to develop scholarship money for these kids to enhance their musical education? I said, what? Because we need a jazz place, but we also want to, sponsor children, young adults who are interested in music. And so why don't you do that every time you have a featured act? And that was my plan, to bring the kids on as an opening act, which I did, and then have an established artist to be the featured act. And what a blend that is, not only the featured act admiring the talents of the young up-and-coming musician, but the young up-and-coming musician looking at how the professional musician behaves and carries himself in that kind of working environment. So, it's just tremendous for me to be able to be a part of that and try to develop that and make it happen, not just on paper, not just in just conversation, but put it, in practical application.